other coin in the world of crypto that is more attacked than XRP, and I firmly believe that a huge reason why is because it's a threat. It's a threat to so many others and other crypto communities competing in the world of blockchain and crypto. That's why at its core. Because if it weren't, do you think any of them would be wasting this amount of time talking about little old XRP? If it doesn't have real adoption and it's technologically insufficient, why would they even waste their time? They're spending their time on this because they absolutely view it as a threat. And they try to tear it down. And they lie about it. And you know what? I am thrilled that they do. Now, if you asked me that even just a little while ago, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, I would not say I'm happy for that. I'm like, no, I'm just tired of I'm tired of people lying about this. It's not good. You're going to mislead people. And some people will be misled. But the truth of the matter is that if somebody already believes that XRP is crap and they're in that world and they're that biased, you're not going to change their mind. Almost certainly. I'm not going to say that as an absolute, but almost nobody's going to get their mind changed. Also, if you're someone like me who's well-researched and been tracking this on a daily basis for the better part of a decade, you're not going to change my mind. XRP is good. There would have to be a fundamental shift in like the actual ecosystem of XRP. Something technologically terrible happens, a crack in the code, something happens, actual adoption goes down. Then I change my mind. If the ground game changes, sure. Otherwise, no. Though it actually does work and adoption is increasing. But it's the people in between that matter. The unbiased people, the people that don't have an opinion. Like that's who we're actually fighting for here. And it turns out that when somebody's unbiased and they do learn about XRP, a ton of them end up being like, come to the same conclusion you and I did, which is that it makes sense. So for that reason, I actually like this. This is making our ecosystem way bigger than it would otherwise be. The haters are actually driving this, and there's data science behind this. And so I want to share with you, because this is just fun, one of the latest examples here of somebody with XRP derangement syndrome trying to tear down XRP, thinking that he's helping to hold it down, and he does not know that he's actually helping us in the XRP community. He unquestionably is. But that's what happens when you try and just act in a dishonest way and you start an XRP smear campaign. And tons of people in the community are doing it. It's Litecoin in this case. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so there's this post. I'm going to be brief on this. I've highlighted this in my video, and I thoroughly talked about it in one video. This is from August 26th. It's from Paul Barron. He talks a lot about technology and crypto and XRP specifically. He has a very successful YouTube channel with over 1.6 million subscribers on it. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can pause if you want to read the whole thing, but I want to highlight the most relevant portion right here. It's this. And he simply wrote, in reference to these attacks that the Bitcoiners and all of the irrational XRP haters are putting out there, here's what he had to say about that. This creates a perverse incentive structure. Every negative thread about XRP generates 10 times the algorithmic engagement of a positive thread about Bitcoin. The attackers think they're suppressing XRP's narrative, but they're actually feeding its engagement beast. Twitter's algorithm doesn't distinguish between positive and negative engagement. It simply sees massive interaction volumes and amplifies accordingly, which usually results in exploration of XRP by new crypto investors, hence ETF explosions. And folks, there's actual data behind that. He collects data, and that's how he came to this conclusion. It actually is true. It's real. And I always supposed this was most likely. Now we've got some data to back it. We do. So this is a very good thing. And so if you're one of the people in the XRP community that pushes back against this stuff on social media, you're helping. It doesn't mean you don't have to change the mind of the idiot that's saying whatever stupid thing the idiot's saying. That shouldn't even be the goal. But if you're responding, you're part of the XRP community, and we're a big-ass community, one of the largest in crypto, if not the largest. And I'm telling you, all of us responding because we don't like seeing people lying about this, that gets more response from the haters, but then a certain amount of people who are unbiased come across all that stuff. So the more stuff there is, the more likely humans are going to come across that stuff and then do their own research. And then if you're unbiased, if you're not in that tribe, you come in with an open mind, you're going to come to the same conclusion that you and I came to. Almost certainly most people do, because it's logical and reasonable. But then you get posts like this. Like, this is from the Litecoin account, 1.2 million followers. I shared this the other day. I just want to make sure everybody knows about this. So I'm doing a little table setting here, but it's important so you can see how unhinged these people are. So this is from the Litecoin account. 1.2, this has been seen 1 million times just on X, and that doesn't include all the reposts. If you include everything else everybody's talked about, it's millions of times undoubtedly. So Litecoin wrote the following. Fun fact. A comet smells like rotten eggs, urine, burning matches, and almonds. Most scientists say the closest comparison to this phenomenon on Earth is the idea that tokens called XRP would be sold off to retail investors with the illusion that a digital bank drive-up tube is worth more than the money it transfers back and forth because there are only so many tokens in existence and everyone will want one because the banking systems of the world have been quietly making deals for over a decade to make XRP the replacement for SWIFT, and the president is sleeping with Brad Garlic Mouse. So obviously an unhinged individual with, he's either lying or just legitimately does not understand the XRP ecosystem and what it's doing. But I just want to make sure you're aware of that. I already ripped this to shreds in another video, but I want to make sure, in case you hadn't seen that, this is what we're working with. I'm telling you, XRP derangement syndrome is absolutely real. Such an affliction does exist. And as highlighted by Nick, Crypto Crusader in our community, he recognized this. And it's not just them. He wrote, we are so used to Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis hating on Ripple and XRP, but now it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Litecoin holders. It's quite comical how the success and aura of XRP is now getting to this space. And that's true. Why are they all coming for XRP? They are threatened. They hate XRP. And it's just driving the engagement beast, as Paul Barron said. Absolutely it is. It led to articles like this. This is from Live Bitcoin News website. Is Chainlink a better bet than XRP? Expert weighs in. And this is the expert at Chainlink. God, yeah, that guy doesn't have an ego. 186,000 followers. And he did this long thread. And it's too far out of the scope of this video to break this down. It's not worth it. But he's bringing up XRP. And he's just choosing to rip on it. Like, why are you comparing it specifically to XRP? Like, it's a threat to them. There are tens of thousands of coins, and you choose to compare Chainlink, which is broadly trying to do different shit. You're comparing that to XRP, and just that one post got 101,000 views. So you can see it's all over the place. This is why it's helping us. It's absolutely helping us. And then there was this headline from the Crypto Basic, because this keeps happening. Here's why there is little evidence of massive rotation from XRP to Chainlink. I'm not going to read the article. I just wanted to mention it. But they share a post from XRP community member Bill Morgan, who wrote, a massive rotation from XRP to Link, because that's the assertion. And he says, not really, seeing it in the Link/XRP pair or much other evidence for it. Yeah, exactly not. And you can see a little snippet of it right here. The Link-XRP pair is going down. It's losing value against XRP. And mind you, I've been holding Chainlink and Litecoin since 2017. Same for XRP. I'm not tribal about it, though. I'd like all of them to do well. My favorite's XRP. I'm biased, sure, but I'm not tribal about it. I think that's stupid. And I think all these people are absolute idiots for being tribal about it. They want something, so they will lie about it. Which brings us to the latest example, Johnny Litecoin. This guy's post has 369,000 views. I just can't ignore this. The dumbassery that came from this guy's face hole is impressive. I will give him that. It is truly impressive. So I got a transcription of what he said here. Before I read the transcription, I'll share with you what he wrote while sharing this video. He wrote here on X, quick recap of my experience working in payments of XRP versus Litecoin. I have never once seen a XRP transaction done in the real world. Where are the blockchain analytics? My conclusion is that XRP is a psychological operation meant to distract you. Okay, buddy. So what this guy had today? Surely he's some sort of brilliant Einstein-level genius, right? I mean, with a starter pack like that, let's see. So here's what he says. Hey guys, what's up? Johnny Litecoin here. How's it going today? All right, you guys, let me give you a quick history of what I've seen in the world of payments for XRP versus Litecoin. All right, so let's just talk about the two coins real quick. Litecoin is created very similar to Bitcoin, 84 million coins instead of 21 million coins, right? It's mined, just like Bitcoin is, so it means it has a cost to create it, a cost to production. Anything that has value in this world has that energy to create it. That's the some type of creation process that gave it value. XRP doesn't have that. The coin was never mined. It doesn't even use proof of stake. Okay, so let's pause right here. This idea that a cryptocurrency needs to be mined to have value is provably false. It does not matter. And if you just logically think out a little bit further, one day, Johnny Litecoin, will it be the case, if Litecoin lives long enough, that all of the Litecoin will be mined? Is that also true for Bitcoin? The answer is yes. One day, all of it will be mined. So then it's just all out there in the wild. And then it's all out there in all the XRP that was created, it's all out there in the wild. It all exists. Somebody has all of it. A bunch of different people, institutions, businesses, so on and so forth, right? At that point, what the hell does it matter how it was created? What the hell does it matter once it's out there how much energy was used to create it? That's a negative if a lot of energy was used to create it, you dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Once it's out there, it's just out there. Period. Either there's demand for it at that point, or there is not demand for it at that point. And there will be demand for it not because of the energy used to create it, but because it's useful. If it's useful, there's going to be demand for it. How do you not understand this very simple concept? Furthermore, the assertion that there was no energy used to create XRP is blatantly false. It's just that it was almost zero. Do you recognize that? It's just that it's more efficient to produce XRP. It was all created at inception, but to state that there was no electricity used to power the computers where the programmers sat there and typed the code and created it, that's literally not true. Yeah, there's no mining, thankfully, because it's unnecessary and stupid. But to state that there was that's not even true. It's like his assertion is wrong. It's just that it was way more efficient. And I say the closer we get to zero energy used to create a thing, the better. He thinks the more energy used, the better. How stupid does a human have to be to think such a thing? That is completely irrational. And then he says, and this is the rest of his quote here, this is transcribed, it was created by the company Ripple. So when you invest in XRP, you're actually investing in the company Ripple. Got to pause already. That's stupid. Does he legitimately not know better? Ripple, the company, was created after XRP was created. This is provably the case via public records. You can look it up. I pulled it up a million times on this channel. Ain't going to do it again here. But it is true. So does he literally not know that? Is he just asserting this? It was created by Jed McCaleb, Arthur Brito, David Schwartz. They created that. They created XRP in June of 2012. It wasn't until months later that Ripple was even created. Months later. And as far as an investment in XRP being an investment in the company Ripple, well, that's also stupid as hell. In fact, the courts have already... he could have maybe gotten away with this and tricked some people when the lawsuit with the SEC v. Ripple was going on. Certainly not now, though. That lawsuit's over, and the judge declared that XRP in and of itself is not a security. So no, it's not an investment of Ripple. You don't get any sort of special privileges or rights by purchasing XRP in the company Ripple. You don't get that. You buy XRP, it gives you no special rights to anything having to do with Ripple. You don't get Ripple stock, nothing of the sort. Lots of people buy XRP that have never heard of Ripple. That's a fact. Lots of people have heard of Ripple. I heard of Ripple before I bought XRP. Lots of people didn't. There are other reasons that people buy XRP. Sometimes people are new to crypto. They've never heard of Ripple. And they're like, oh, this is a coin in the top 10. I'm going to buy a bunch of top 10 coins. That happens too. How could he possibly not know this? It's inexcusable. You can't take someone like this seriously because either he's so ill-informed that he shouldn't be an influencer, or he is sufficiently ill-informed and he's lying. Either is bad. It's very, very bad. I don't know why anyone would take anything this guy says seriously. It's just ridiculous. Investing in Ripple, the company. What an absurd assertion. So it's just a decentralized cryptocurrency, folks. And then he says, so what have I seen in payments? I've never seen even one XRP transaction. There you go, folks. He's never seen an XRP transaction. Therefore, there are zero XRP transactions. I have to tell you, this is one of the most stupid claims. I've seen a lot of dumbass stuff, a lot of stupid claims in my day, going back almost 8 years in crypto now. This is either the worst or one of the worst. The level of idiocy here and nonsense assertions that can be easily debunked, it's just wild. You haven't seen one and it's anecdotal. It's anecdotal, so it's just him. But you clearly have access to the internet. Can you type and use the Webernets to hey Google, or hey ChatGPT, has there ever been at least one XRP transaction? Can you show me proof? Because if you do that, guess what? You're going to find it. This isn't difficult. He's being intellectually dishonest. That's my supposition. I believe he's being intellectually dishonest. Because it's hard to believe somebody's that stupid. They're stupid arguments. He's making stupid arguments. Is he actually that stupid? Or is he just being intellectually dishonest and he's fine with deceiving his audience of tens of thousands of people? I think it's that. I think it's usually that one. That's my guess anyway. Then he says, I've never seen when I look at the analytics of the crypto payments gateways I've set up, I've never seen an XRP transaction come through. I see transactions come through for a lot of other coins, a lot of Bitcoin transactions, a lot of Ethereum transactions, Dash transactions. I see a lot of other like Bitcoin Cash. You see that coin transacted with. I've never ever seen an XRP transaction. So what is the fascination with XRP? Well, you're in that, like I said, you're investing in the company Ripple. Oh my God, he said it twice. I actually think XRP is a psyop, a psychological operation to distract you. Okay, so there we go. Not only are we dealing with somebody here who is either unintelligent or happy to lie to his audience, he's also a wild conspiracy theorist. He's a tinfoil hat guy. So his assertion here is that somebody created XRP purely to distract you from other coins like Litecoin. They're like, oh my God, that Litecoin, it's so useful. Oh my God, we got to distract people from Litecoin. What do? I guess we create a coin that's technologically superior to Litecoin, and then we'll distract it. But it's obvious. But guys, it's not going to actually be adopted. We know the better technology. That's not good. It won't actually get used, but it'll distract some people for a while before they go back to Litecoin, right? Or hopefully it'll keep them away forever. But we know XRP won't be good. Like, what are you talking about? You think there's a human out there or an organization that actually created XRP, and it was designed literally to take away from Litecoin? Are you dead serious about that? Guys, this is a human that walks amongst us, lives and breathes, probably votes. It's scary stuff here. What fresh hell is this? It's a psyop? And of course, it's just a wild assertion. There's nothing to back that. It's just a thing that he said. It's a psyop. And it's psychological. That's right. It's a psychological operation from some shadowy figure out there, some shadowy organization, unknown, no evidence for it because he's going to assert it, but they did it. They definitely did it. You know, this makes me think of the Underpants Gnomes from South Park. It's like, this must be how he thinks. Like, step 1, steal underpants. Step 2, step 3, profit. Thanks, Underpants Gnomes. He would be great as an Underpants Gnome. This would be like a kick-ass Underpants Gnome, unquestionably here. And then he says there's no blockchain analytics on how many transactions a day, how much value is moved. They just tell you it's moving billions and seconds. I want proof. I want the data. Where is it? They tell you it's going to take over the SWIFT system. Guys, they're telling you a crypto fairy tale. Where's the data? And again, he clearly has the internet. Why couldn't he find it? And so he shared this post also, showing some transactions from XRPscan. So he knows about XRPscan, the XRP Ledger Explorer. He says the XRPArmy claims they are doing lots of transactions per day. I want to see the overall value spent per day through the blockchain. Here's a sample from XRPscan. Looks like most of the transactions are a fraction of a penny. WTF is going on? What's going on? Well, it turns out you can have lots of transactions that are a fraction of a penny because it's so cheap to transact on the XRP ledger. In fact, the transactions that you just shared on the screen right there, Litecoin can't do. Not officially, because you know what it costs for a Litecoin transaction? About 1.5 cents. It's about 1.5 cents. That's about 1,500 times more expensive than the typical XRP transaction. So it's a psyop. The psyop is they created a better technology. So they would... So stupid. Yeah, that's right. XRP is 1,500 times, or rather Litecoin transactions, 1,500 times more than the typical XRP transaction. It literally can't do the stuff that XRP can do in an economical sense. And he highlighted, and it's proof on the screen, and he doesn't know what he just did. He doesn't know he just showed that Litecoin can't do what XRP can do. It's literally on your screen right there. It's hilarious to me. It's hilarious. Oh, it's so stupid. And then somebody responded, it's all fake. So I guess he's part of the Litecoin tribe. And then Johnny Litecoin wrote, none of them can show me total value sent per day. It should be easy. Easy info to obtain through public blockchain analytics. It shouldn't be some big mystery, LOL. Yeah, it's not. And that website you used, XRPscan? Well, here's the account on X, the guy running it, the guy that runs the website. this is the XRP scan account on X. He answered your question, you numbnut. What a midwit. And so here's what XRP scan wrote. Because again, he's saying, where's the transactions? I want the proof. And so XRP scan shared a screen grab and wrote, sure, here's 3,356 successful on-chain transactions that transferred 10,000 plus XRP. That's $28,000 and above in dollar value per transaction just yesterday. The transactions are clickable and verifiable on-chain. So folks, he made the assertion that he's never seen a transaction, but then he did find transactions and they were low and they could actually economically make sense because they were so cheap. And then that's bad. And now this was proved and he still is not going to change his mind because he's intellectually dishonest. And there's no reason to be so goddamn tribal. But you know what? This is feeding the engagement machine. So I'm happy to be a part of it. If people are going to keep saying dumbass shit about XRP, oh, I'm happy to prop them up. I will rip to shreds their ideas and I'll be happy about it. Honestly, I don't want it to stop. I don't want people misled, but there is an opportunity. And like, when somebody's telling you something, it is up to you ultimately to verify. No matter who you are on any topic, whatever's going on, you got to verify, especially when you're talking about crypto here. So yeah, I don't like that people are misled, but then it is that person's job to do the research to verify whether or not what they were told is true. There is such a thing as personal responsibility. And so keeping that in mind, I'm happy this is happening because it is good for me, it's good for you, it's good for XRP. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because XRP does make sense, and people that come in with a blank mind, they end up deciding this, they come to the same conclusion you and I did. XRP, wow, it's technologically sufficient, it does what Bitcoin can't, it does what Litecoin can't, it's blazing fast, transactions are almost free, tons of businesses are adopting it, real world